Chapter 206 Understandable. Since Xue Fanxin had been gone for too long, Xue and the others were anxious. They immediately came out to search for her. Fortunately, Xue Fanxin returned safely, making them heave a sigh of relief. After this, they did not dare to let Xue Fanxin travel alone. Although the Lord had said not to interfere in the consort's affairs, he wanted them to ensure her safety. Just now, the consort had gone out of their sight. If anyone wanted to harm her, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Even if the consort was fine in the end, they would still be punished very severely. Looking at the night shadow guard's frightened expressions, Xue Fanxin felt speechless. I only went to the toilet and lost my way. Do you have to be so panicked? I'm not a 3-year-old child. I have the ability to take care of myself. Rest assured. Xue Fanxin naturally knew that the night shadow guards were worried about her. If anything happened to her, Jiu would punish them heavily. Although she did not like people following her everywhere, they had good intentions. No matter how much she disliked them, she could not turn them away. Furthermore, everyone had their own difficulties. She understood these night shadow guards who mostly lived in the dark and was more considerate of them. After all, many dangerous things were done by them. Your Highness, did you encounter anything just now? Xue asked worriedly. I didn't, I just lost my way in the garden and kept walking around. I only returned when the waiter found me. The garden behind the first restaurant is really too big, but it's also very beautiful. Do you want to take a look? Xue Fanxin did not mention that she had met a red-eyed man and pretended that nothing had happened. The garden in the Lord's estate is also very beautiful. In other words, they often saw such beautiful scenery. They were not interested. Does the Lord's estate have a beautiful garden too? Of course, there are many places in the Lord's estate that are even more beautiful than the Imperial Garden. Is that so? Only now did Xue Fanxin realize how unfamiliar she was with the Ninth Lord's estate. However, this was understandable. She had only lived in it for a few days and had always been holed up in her courtyard. When she went out, she would jump over the wall and had never explored the Lord's estate. She was not familiar with it. It seemed like she had to find a time to stroll around. After all, she was now half a mistress of the estate. I've been out for long enough today. It's time to return. Xue Fanxin stretched and left the first restaurant with everyone. Just as they left the door, Xue and the other night shadow guards immediately returned to the darkness and did what they were supposed to do. Fuyun, on the other hand, followed Xue Fanxin and acted as her maid and guard. Technically, the consort was stronger than her and did not need her protection at all. Therefore, she was only her maidservant now. However, the consort did not seem to treat her like that. She regarded her as a friend. For some reason, Fuyun liked this feeling. Fuyun, stop daydreaming. When Xue Fanxin saw Fuyun in a daze and walking slowly, she returned and dragged her away. Fuyun finally returned to her senses. She was used to being dragged by Xue Fanxin by now though. At this moment, a casual conversation by the street caught their attention. Have you heard? Prime Minister Xue has been imprisoned in the Ministry of Justice. How is that possible? Prime Minister Xue is an elder of the current dynasty. His sister is Consort Xue from the palace and his daughter is the #1 beauty and talent of Heavenly Saints City. Such a person wouldn't be locked in the prison no matter how serious his crime is, unless he rebels. I have a friend who is in charge of the Ministry of Justice. He personally escorted Prime Minister Xue to the prison. This matter can't be wrong. Prime Minister Xue had been thrown into the prison of the Ministry of Justice? When Xue Fanxin heard this, the corners of her lips curled up into a mysterious and evil smile. It seemed like Xu Zi and Xu Beifeng had already crawled into the huge pit she and Jiu had dug. They were going to be unlucky next.